Hi, I'm Lilian Lindsey, and I was born in 1878. I spent most of my life at 401 Wapping Street, which you may now know as the Vest Lindsey House, right next door to the Paul Sawyier Public Library. Throughout my childhood, we had many guests and visitors that were writers and artists, and this inspired me throughout my lifetime. In the early 1900s, I created a traveling library that went to local schools in the county and the city. In 1906, I became the president of the Frankfort Women's Club and attended a convention in Mount Sterling, Kentucky. It was there that I became inspired to create a library here in Frankfort. I came home and the Frankfort Women's Club immediately began work on the project. We raised money and attended estate sales to purchase books. We stored the books in my home. There was no money for a librarian in the budget, so I sought after my own training. I attended the University of Chicago and received additional training at the Indiana Library Commission. In 1908, on December 12th, we opened Frankfort's first library on the 7th floor of the McClure building. Unfortunately, that was the same year my mother passed away. She was the great-granddaughter of James Garrett. I served as the first librarian. Alongside Rebecca Averill, we worked tirelessly to bring Frankfort a Carnegie library. The city would have to pledge 10% of the building cost. By the time we received the commitment from the city, Carnegie funds were no longer available. So the Frankfort Women's Club continued to run the library for 57 years with local government support. In 1965, the Frankfort Women's Club Library partnered with Franklin County Bookmobile and opened the Paul Sawyier Public Library. In 1911, I was ill and moved to LA to be with my brother and sister-in-law. A Los Angeles paper said at the time, "Miss Lilian Lindsey comes from South with record of achievement to make her home here." I received additional library training and worked in the records department of a Los Angeles library. In 1911, because of my tuberculosis, I moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and received treatment there. My sister Maria joined me. In the early 1920s, we returned home, and in 1922, my father passed away. After he passed, I continued to live in the Vest Lindsey house with my three sisters. On June 1st, 1939, I lost my battle with tuberculosis and passed away at home. My obituary said, "Her ideals were high and noble." The library closed during my funeral. In 1941, there was a grand opening ceremony for the youth department at the Paul Sawyier Public Library. A lot of this was thanks to my $100 bequest, and my good friend Rebecca Averill donated $50 in my honor. My sister Cordelia was there to unveil the books. In 2006, the Friends of the Bookstore decided to name their location after me, the Lilian Lindsey Bookstore, and there's a portrait there today to commemorate me. On August 21st, 2009, we finally received a historical marker outside the library naming me as the founder of the library, Lilian Lindsey.